Hey everybody, welcome back to Bob Appetit. What we're gonna do today is a 4-cheese skillet potato au gratin. We're gonna be using Parmesan, fontina, feta, cheddar, and you better believe it's gonna be delicious on Bob Appetit. That's right, Bob Appetit. YouTube, you're not stopping me. I'm gonna beat your algorithm, YouTube. I'm gonna beat it. So, if you wanna help me beat YouTube's algorithm and make Bob Appetit a name that it recognizes, please quickly go down, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, make sure to ring the bell, slap the thumb. Is it a thumb? Hit the thumb. To start, I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees and I've got my 8-inch skillet on medium heat. I'm gonna dump in 2 tablespoons of butter. And once that melts, we're gonna toss in 1 shallot finely diced. After about 30 seconds, we're gonna add in 1 serrano pepper. I left the seeds in because I like it a little bit spicier, but feel free to de-seed it if you'd like it to be a little bit more mild. And feel free to leave it out if you don't want any spicy. At this point, come in with a healthy pinch of salt. And then come in with 4 cloves of garlic. Let that cook for about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds have passed, turn off the heat, and then we're going to move our finished shallots, serrano pepper, and garlic over to a different dish. It smells so tasty. This stuff is gonna be like a flavor bomb right in the middle of your potatoes. Don't worry about getting everything out of the pan. It's okay to have a little bit of leftover down at the bottom. That's just gonna be added flavor to the underside of our potatoes. With over 200 varieties of potatoes in the world, we tend to classify them on a spectrum from high starch and low moisture to high moisture and low starch. On one end, you have the starchy potatoes. These are high starch, low moisture, as the name suggests, and they tend to be things like russets, which take on flavors very well, things like butter and cheese and cream, but they lose their shape very easily. So they're perfect for things like mashed potatoes or even a baked potato that you plan on churning the insides to add with sour cream and other delicious goodness. I miss baked potatoes. On the other end of the spectrum, we have what are called waxy potatoes. These are high in moisture but low in starch. They have a tendency to hold their shape very well, but don't soak in flavors quite as much. These would be things like fingerling potatoes. They tend to be a younger type potato and also a little bit smaller. They're perfect for things like potato salads. And then in the middle of the spectrum are what's called all-purpose potatoes. Things like the Yukon Gold variety, which have a medium, moderate level of starch and moisture. These retain their shapes pretty well, but also take on flavors. They're not going to be solid and hard, but they're going to be great for absorbing any of the deliciousness you've got going on. So in this dish, we're going to be using the Yukon Gold variety so that we can get both the shape that we're looking for, while also getting a lot of the flavors from the cheese that we're mixing into this dish. Now we're gonna take our potatoes and we're gonna layer them in the center, being very careful since the pan is still hot. Try to start with the big ones. Just makes life a little bit easier. Do the little waiting on potatoes dance. Don't touch the hot stuff. It's hot. All right, once you've got your nice first layer there, we're gonna come back in with our mixture here. Lay it around. Doesn't have to be perfect. And this is important because the Yukons are gonna soak up all of this delicious flavor. Now we're gonna come in with our 2 ounces of feta, 2 ounces of cheddar, and 2 ounces of fontina cheese. You'll notice that we're not using a lot of salt in this dish, and that's because the feta and the Parmesan we're gonna use a little bit later already have quite a bit of saltiness inside of them. So you don't wanna over-salt this dish. And I actually had someone who, quite frankly, eats enough salt to dry himself out tell me that this dish was delicious and already had enough salt, so I consider myself proud of that. Now, if you're like me and you happen to have some extra potatoes here because you thinly sliced, you can start packing those bad boys on top. Now we're gonna come in, just layer some more of this cheese on top. You might be saying, Bob, that looks really cheesy. Well, this ain't potatoes au bland. This ain't potatoes au potatoes. This ain't potatoes au air. It's potatoes au gratin. Get the gratin in there. Now we're coming in with our fourth cheese, the Parmesan. Just hit that on top. And then add a bit of pepper to the top. Boom. Okay, now we're gonna put that inside of our 400-degree oven for 25 minutes. And now we wait. It's been 25 minutes. Now we're gonna switch our oven over to be on broiler mode for 2 minutes. If you didn't do it before, make sure that you put the skillet on your top rack so that you can get the maximum benefit of the broiler and get that cheese nice and crispy. Like a brief moment every time I hit the broiler that I'm like, will the oven explode? We're fine. After those 2 minutes are done, turn off the broiler and then let's get in there and check this bad boy out. Oh, look at that. Golden delicious crust on top. You can hear that sizzle. You can see the peppers all around the edges. Give this a good 3 to 5 minutes to cool down. Slice and serve. This is one of those dishes that I swear is a constant battle for me to judge how close I can get my nose into smell versus not face planting into the hot skillet. Let's plate. If you got the chance, get yourself a spatula that has some blades on it. Perfect for something like this. You can feel those Golden Yukons giving a little bit of firmness to the cut. They're not giving way like a russet would, but they're not holding a perfect shape like you might get out of something a little bit more waxy. Oh my gosh. Now we're gonna come in here with a little bit of our cut chives and just plop them on top with some color. And now you can also put some sour cream with this and creme fraiche or anything else that you want to go along with it. But right now, we've got ourselves our 4 cheese potatoes au gratin. Let's give this a taste. Oh, that cheese. That sharpness of the cheddar mixing with the light fontina, the salty Parmesan and feta comes together in this absolutely wonderful mixture. You can get a lot of flavors out of just using the right mixture of cheese, but you also get that wonderful hit of garlic and shallot and a little bit of spice from the pepper and the serrano. This dish is fantastic and an easy one-pot dish that you can make with 10 minutes of effort. This is a perfect middle-of-the-week dish. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, ring the thumb. Wait, do the thing and dance. And remember, you rock. We'll catch you next time on Bon Appetit. You ready to try?
I'm so ready.
I'm interpreting that as good.